Hey everybody, thanks for coming back for Jumpstart Part 7. Can you believe that we've already done 7 weeks of this? I'm so excited to get to the finish line. We're now on the descent, getting ready to make our jump start. Today, we're going to talk about educating yourself. One of the number one reasons that people give when you ask them why they aren't pursuing their passion is that they don't know where to start. People think that a lack of education or experience in a particular area means that they're unqualified to even think about pursuing a career in that field. But I'm here to tell you that the only thing stopping you from jumpstarting your life is you. Your own preconceived ideas about what you can or cannot achieve. Just because you went to school for something doesn't mean that that is what you're going to do and what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. I believe that there's something each of us were created to do, and you may not have known what that was back in high school when you were deciding on which college to go to or what major to select. And I'm here to tell you that that's okay. By now you probably know that I didn't go to college, and the older I get, the more I realize that that may not be such a bad thing. Think about it like this. If I were to ask you to think of a friend or family member who went to college, started and finished with the same major, and subsequently got a job in their precise field of study, you'd probably find it difficult to pinpoint more than a handful. The truth is, the majority of people who go to college have no idea what they want to do in life when deciding on a college and an area of study. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life when I was 17, aside from being a rock star. And I bet my money that most people don't at that age either. But in our society, we require kids to make a decision in high school of what they want to do with the rest of their lives and live with the consequences. Sadly, what ends up happening is many people change their major several times as they feel their way through the dark cloud of the unknown and waste time and money earning a degree that will most likely have nothing to do with the job they end up with. Now, before I continue, I find it necessary to make one caveat. For people who know what they want to do with their lives and desire a career that can only be achieved by continuing their education, then college is a great benefit. Take my wife, for example. She wanted to be a teacher from the time that she was 8 years old. So she went to college, got a degree in elementary education, and became a teacher. I'm amazed by her commitment and the hard work she did to pursue her dream and make it a reality. Something she'd wanted to do from the time she was 8 years old, and she realized it. It's impressive. But let's be honest, how many of us are in jobs right now that can only be performed by someone who has a college degree? I'm not asking whether they require you to have one. Most jobs do. I'm asking you whether you think you would be capable of performing your assigned tasks if you didn't have one. Most of us, if we think hard, have a job that, in order to be performed well, should require no higher level of education than a high school diploma. And that's being generous. It used to be that having a college degree was prestigious and made you stand out among the crowd. But because of the subsidizing of the educational system in this country and the peer and parental pressure to continue our education, the workforce is now saturated with people who hold degrees, which only serves to dilute the prestige and potency of having that degree in the first place. As someone with nothing more than a high school diploma, I've experienced the blue-collar discrimination firsthand. While I worked my way up from entry-level employee in both banking and pharmaceutical industries, I was constantly being told that I needed to go back to school if I ever wanted to get ahead. Was it because I could only learn the skills necessary to perform the job in a college classroom or lecture hall? No, I already had the skills necessary and had proven myself at every level up to that point. So why then? Why did I need to go back to college? Why did I need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get a degree? It was simply because someone arbitrarily deemed that it ought to be a requirement that the applicant for said job hold a degree in a related field. I guess it's sort of like a way of establishing corporate bragging rights among corporations to be able to list how many MBAs you have on the payroll. So here I would work my butt off and learn new processes and regulations quicker than anyone else, only to watch as recent college graduates were hired at a higher wage and many times ahead of me. Are you telling me that in 13 years of working full-time, supporting myself and my family, and proving that I had what it took every step of the way, that there's still something I lack when compared to someone who spent the last 4 years partying in the college or university bubble and has absolutely no work or real life experience whatsoever. This is something that I, along with countless others, have faced for years, which ultimately can result in a feeling of hopelessness and depression. To wake up every morning and know before your feet even hit the floor that it doesn't matter whether you excel at what you do. It doesn't matter whether you demonstrate the qualities necessary to perform your job. You will never advance because what matters in the eyes of HR and everyone else in corporate America is whether you had a piece of paper as proof that you continued your adolescence into your adult years on your parents' or the government's dime. Something had to change for me, and I believe that in order for you to successfully jumpstart your life, you need to rethink what it means to be educated. In my life, I was 30 years old and I knew that I had a lot to offer, but I was afraid that my talents were being wasted in a world that values formal education over actual emotional intelligence and practical experience. So I took my talents to South Beach. Just kidding. So I committed to educating myself. I became a sponge for as much information as my brain could hold. There's certainly something to be said for applying yourself to increasing your knowledge, not just because you want a degree or some credentials or a letter at the end of your name, but because your very livelihood depends on it. And what I learned in the process, I immediately began to implement in a real-world setting, which proved to be an invaluable experience. Now, you may be watching this video as someone who already has a degree collecting dust, or you're about to embark on your college journey. But I'm about to let you in on a little secret. Sure, you could take out loans and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, not to mention 4 to 6 years of your life, on a glamorous education. Or you could literally spend only hundreds of dollars and learn the same information. Now, people will argue that you can only learn certain skills in college or university setting, and that you can't learn them anywhere else. I would beg to differ. Many of who we would consider to be the most successful people in the world did not finish college. And I'm pretty sure if you ask them what they got out of school, which they then were able to translate into their entrepreneurial journey, they'd answer, not much. In fact, many of them left school because it was holding them back from doing what they were created to do. In other words, it was not fostering their creativity, but stifling it. And if you want to jumpstart your life and career, I'm here to tell you that you don't necessarily need to go back to school to do it. If you say, I don't know how to do something, or I'm not trained in that area, but it's something that you want to do, it's time to get to work. And you know what? If you admit to yourself that you don't know how to do it, you're halfway there. Because the smartest people in the world are the ones that are willing to admit they still have a lot to learn. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope it's beneficial to you. We're going to start kicking it up a notch and starting to pursue and implement some strategies that will hopefully help you jumpstart your life and your career. Until next time, keep it real. Godspeed.